I'm going to show you how I work 12 hours a day and stay productive and don't have burnout. When people see my calendar, they ask me how my head hasn't exploded yet. So I'm going to show you how I stay organized, how I actually work the 12 hours a day, what I actually do, and how I've been doing it for several years now. And as you can see, this is my calendar. This is completely unedited. And this strategy has literally made me $1 million. So I think it works pretty well. Now, I'm pretty far along in the business game, so I have maybe things I do differently than what you would do if you're just starting out. If you're far along, hopefully this will help you. If you're just starting out, I'll give you some things that I would do if I was starting out too. All right, first thing, morning routines. They are worthless. I'm not saying morning routines can't be helpful, but when I started out, I would watch all these videos, everything that you'd watch online on how to have the most productive morning routine. I got up at 5:30 every morning. I took a cold shower, I went to the gym, and then I came back, took another cold shower. I would do a smoothie, a protein shake, and then I would do meditation, I would do visualization. It took me about 3.5 hours every single day just to do this morning routine, thinking that it would make me more productive, thinking that it would make me more effective in the day. Maybe it'll help me make more money. It did absolutely nothing. A lot of people, what's really annoying is they focus on the things that really aren't important and thinking that, okay, this one habit's gonna, and that's not the case. That's never how it really works. And that's just what I thought. I thought, oh, this is gonna, like doing this 3-hour routine, this is what all the gurus do, so I should be doing this. It turns out it's not gonna help you at all. So now my morning routine is, I get up about 10 minutes before my first call. I get up at like 9:20 a.m. My first call is usually at 9:30 a.m. And I usually have, in the morning, my first calls are either sales calls or client calls. And so these are people that I just book on my calendar, people that are interested in my service, or clients that have already, paid me and they're just asking me questions, whatever. Client calls are usually anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes. Sales calls are usually just 30 minutes. The client calls, when they're 15 minutes, they used to be all 30 minutes, but a lot of times they only use 20 minutes of the 30 minutes, or they would only use 15 minutes of the 30 minutes, and then I would just be sitting there for another 15 minutes, just kind of wasting time waiting for the next call. And so then I shortened them all to about 15 minutes, just because we can get everything done faster. And now I can do 4 in an hour rather than 2 per hour. And I have a lot of clients, so I get a lot of these calls. So doing those first thing in the morning. And then while I'm doing these calls, I also bought a treadmill desk thing where basically it goes under your desk and you can use treadmill, right? I have been wanting to buy this for a long time. I am very kind of stingy or very cheap. So it took me a while to buy this thing, but it was well worth it. It's only like $200, goes right under your desk. And I'm even so stingy that I don't even buy a standing desk. So I just put a coffee table on top of my desk, put my laptop and everything up there, and then I walk. And it's very helpful to be able to sit there and walk while I'm doing these calls, because I hate sitting here for like 10 hours a day, Now I am also, if you didn't know, I'm a certified iPad kid. And so when I'm doing these calls, I am extremely bored most of the time. Either I'm writing notes on what the client is telling me, what updates I need to do on their campaign, whatever it is, or I'm literally just playing Rocket League while they're talking to me, just because I get a lot of these calls and it's mostly the same thing every time. And so I'm just sitting there. Yeah. I took a lot of inspiration from Sam Bankman-Fried. I actually recorded a video where I closed a $3,000 sale and I was just playing Rocket League the entire time. Let me know if I should upload that video. So if you ever get on a call with me, just know I'm probably playing video games. All right, now the next thing I do is lunch. Now I usually do lunch for an hour and a half. Now obviously it doesn't ever really take anybody an hour and a half to eat lunch, but in this time slot I usually go to the gym. So as soon as 11:30 hits, I either walk to the gym. There's 2 gyms right next to me, about a 2-minute drive, about a 10-minute walk or so. And I can go to one. Usually I go to one just for the basketball court, and I'll sit there, do 200 shots, 200 3-pointers, and just get some cardio in, or the other one where I'll just actually do lifting and all that other jazz. I will come home, take a warm shower, and then usually eat a small meal. Usually I have leftovers from the night before, or I'll just go to Subway and get a 6-inch Subway sandwich. Now, not all the time I go to the gym. Sometimes I actually just take a nap, because sometimes I don't get good sleep. And so sometimes I'm up late till like 2 a.m. And so I usually need 9 hours in order to function properly. So if I have to get up and do the calls, and then at 11:30, I'll just take an hour and a half nap. Usually when you're taking a nap, you always want to do either under a half an hour or over an hour and a half, just because it takes an hour and a half to go through all your entire cycle is an hour and a half. And if you go over a half an hour, you're kind of going to go into deep sleep. And then if you wake up, an hour after an hour nap, you're going to be waking up more tired than you were than when you fell asleep. So you have to make it a full hour and a half. So it's just perfect for me, because I have an hour and a half lunch. I do an hour and a half nap. Then after a gym or a nap, I'll come back here, start walking more, take on more calls. I usually take calls anywhere, sometimes between 3 or 4 p.m., but most of the times till 6 p.m. And when walking, I usually burn 500 calories, like 6 miles, so it's about 500 calories or so it's pretty good. Now here's a really good strategy. Throughout the day, I always have clients, that this client wants this thing, or I sold this guy this thing and I need to make sure I send him this email on that thing, whatever, or this guy asked me, whatever, right? So I have just little tasks that people ask me, usually like 5-10 minute tasks that I need to remember to do, but I can't do them right now because I I have the next call, then the next call, then the next call, whatever. So what I do is I create little 30-minute slots at the end of the day. So just little slots that show, and I put in there what I need to do. So these little tasks that I have to do. Now sometimes they're not going to take 30 minutes. They're going to take like 5 minutes, but I just make them 30 minutes so I can actually see them on my calendar, click on it, and then I can see what I need to do. And then after all my calls, I'll do all these little tasks. And then every time I do the task, I'll just mark it off. I'll make it like gray, and then I'll push it up so that it's out of the way, and then I'll go on to the next task and the next task and the next. After I do all my tasks, I usually only have eaten a small meal or I haven't eaten at all that day so far. So I'll go to either to eat, usually Chipotle or Chewy's or Raising Cane's. That has been my diet for the last year, which is amazing. And I don't cook anymore or do anything like that. Just go. I used to, dude, I've eaten thousands. When I was broke, dude, thousands of pizza rolls, hundreds of corn dogs, all right? They were delicious. And after that, I will come home, either work on content or just set up more campaigns. Like right now, it is 11 p.m. on a Saturday, and I'm still working. I'll usually work till about midnight, sometimes 1 a.m. I try to sleep for at least 8 or hopefully 9 hours. I feel the best when I sleep 9 hours. So then I wake up at 9:20 the next morning and do it all over again. So that's a full day. It might sound like a lot. If it sounds like too much for you, you can have fun staying broke. I think it's actually pretty fun to do. I actually really like working. I feel like I'm getting stuff done. I'm doing stuff for the world, being productive. Anytime I'm not productive, I always feel like you ever go out with your friends and as soon as you go out, you're like, I don't want to be here. So if you're just getting started and you're trying to start a business, the main thing you should do is always just focus on trying to get clients. If you even have clients, the first part of your day is trying to get more clients, trying to keep the pipeline full. Because a lot of times what people either do is either they don't have any clients, and this is what I did. Don't have any clients, and what I try to figure out is, what do I do? I don't really know what to do. What do I do? So then you just sit there. I would play video games, and I would listen to audiobooks, or I would do chores and listen to audiobooks thinking that that's going to actually help me. It never helped me. And so spend the first part of your day trying to actually get clients in the door. That's all that matters. So that's sending out messages, trying to create content to get people interested in your product. If you already have clients, don't even focus on the clients. The clients, usually it's mindless tasks that you have to do at the end of the day, which, after your brain is already fried, there's little things you have to do for the clients. Focus on getting more clients at the beginning of the day, right? That's the first thing you should do. I would try to send 200 messages a day consistently if you're trying to get clients for an agency. And then also try different strategies. Like if Instagram didn't work, let's try Facebook. Facebook didn't work, let's try SMS. Try to change the script every 2 or 3 days. If it's not working for you, change the script, change the messaging, just put the numbers in. If you're not putting the numbers in, when I was just starting and I wasn't getting a lot of clients, I was like, why am I not getting a lot of clients? And I just didn't want to do cold calls, right? So I just didn't do cold calls. I was like, I'm not getting clients. It was very simple. You do more cold calls, you get more clients. That's pretty easy. And when I realized it's a game of numbers and a game of testing things, I literally sent millions of messages. I created hundreds of videos. I've done thousands upon thousands of sales calls, and I literally made $1 million. Now it's as simple as that, right? Just sending messages, either creating content and giving value to the world, do it over and over and over again, and you will make more money, right? Now, it sounds like a lot. I remember when I was starting, I heard some guys say, you know what, the key to being successful is taking on more sales calls. And really, if the people that I've seen that are most successful, they've literally just done 1,000 sales calls. And I was thinking to myself, how will I ever get to 1,000 sales calls? That is going to take me forever. This was 2019, early 2020. And so, now we're 4 years later. I've done 2,500 sales calls for myself and maybe 5,000 for the entire company. And it seems like a lot when you're just starting out. But think of in terms of, we can either go to school, get a 4-year degree, take these worthless tests. I hated studying. I hated taking tests. It was like, why am I taking it? Get a useless political science degree, useless liberal arts degree, or a business degree is also useless. If you're trying to start a business, don't get a business. It makes no sense. Waste 4 years, the best 4 years of your working adult life. You're young, you have the energy. You waste that just to party and waste a lot of money. Right now you're in debt. Now you're 4 years behind anyone else like me who just spent 4 years actually trying to start his own business. And then I'm $1 million ahead of you. And that was I tried to start in 2020. Now there's ups and downs and ups and downs. In the end, it was well worth it. And if it only took 4 years, it was worth every penny. Now, what to do when you don't know what to do? I remember when I first quit my job and I was like, okay, what do I do? What action should I take? And I remember I paid for a mentor, and he's like, okay, if you take the action and you keep taking that action and you put in those numbers, you just, you do the system, you're going to get more out of it. And I was like, what is that action? What do I do? And he couldn't give me any solid answers. And now I realize it was like actually just doing the cold call, right? If I just do more cold calls, or if I sent more messages, or I did sent more cold emails, or I created more content. Now it's as simple as that to me. But back then I didn't understand that. And so I would just get up, I would, again, play video games or do some chores, listen to an audiobook thinking it would be my saving grace. Maybe this book will have the thing that I need, whatever. I mean, it was so annoying. But I found the solution to always having something to do and never being bored in your business. So if you already have a business and you've already sold to some clients, it means you have proof of concept. People actually want your product. So we just have to, again, send more numbers, create more content, send more emails, start a Facebook group, start a YouTube channel, whatever. Just get more out there so more people are seeing you. And you want to annoy people. That's the whole goal, is honestly to annoy them, trying to create the best, craziest, scammiest sounding offer and annoy the crap out of them with this offer. If you're not making someone mad by noon every single day, you are not marketing effectively. That's a quote by Dan Kennedy. You want people to want to unsubscribe from you because they're so annoyed at you. And then when they unsubscribe, you email them even more because you just want to be more annoying, right? And I know that sounds kind of harsh, but that's the difference between like how many times have you seen, like, say, I don't know, a Kia commercial or a Honda commercial, right? And they're you've ever seen a Honda, you're just like, what is this ad even for, right? They do it over and over and over and over, but there's a reason for it. There's how many times you've seen an iPhone, like, I already know what an iPhone is. You don't even make a commercial about the new feature, like, we already know. But we need to keep marketing over and over so that we're really annoying to them. The people that are doing it the most, obviously, the people that are spending the most on marketing, the people that are investing the most on marketing are always the ones that are making the most too. I've said this in other videos, but the chiropractor that claims that they're the best and that has the most clients, whatever, usually they're actually the worst at being the chiropractor. The chiropractor that's the poorest is usually the best at actually being the chiropractor. So when you're on Google looking for a chiropractor, try to scroll down a little bit, find one that's not as popular, because the more popular ones, they're not focusing on trying to be a better chiropractor. They're focusing on how to promote themselves more as I am the best chiropractor, you know? The other thing you can do if you already have a business is try to solve problems and create innovation. Now, you can do innovation a couple different ways by, like I said, solving problems. So you look at your market, and usually there's a problem because people find a dead end and then they don't know what to do after that dead end. And you just don't want to have either or thinking. So usually it's like either I can eat a lot of food or I can be fit. I can't have either or, right? But how do we eat a lot of food and still be really fit? I can't make a ton of money without spending any money on ads. I have to spend ads to make more money. How can we make a ton of money without spending any money on ads? And so that's something I figured out. I've gotten so many clients, almost 1,000 clients. I've never spent $1 on ads for myself. When I was first starting, I figured out I wanted to target videographers, and I want to help videographers do whatever they want. So I talked to like 10 or 15 videographers. I just sent them all messages, people that I already knew, or just random people on Facebook saying, hey, I know you're a videographer. I just want to see if I can ask you a few questions about you being a videographer, and I'm trying to do some market research. I want to see if I can buy you coffee, right? And I was just going to send them $5 on Facebook, but I'll buy you coffee, right? I was able to get on a call with like 15 people. No one really they didn't want me to pay me anything. They just wanted to talk about themselves because everybody wants to talk about themselves. So I do these calls, and everybody wants more commercial videos. Some people want more weddings, but most people want more commercial videos, which I already knew that because I was already a videographer and I did weddings and I hated weddings and I wanted to do more commercial videos myself as well. So they want to do more commercial videos, and they only really rely on word of mouth. And these are just questions I ask them. I just ask them, what do you want more of? Why do you want more of that? And how much do those pay? And is there anything that keeps you up at night? Anything that you that stresses you out, that you don't like about your business? Now we just need to solve that problem. They don't have a consistent way of getting these commercial videos. How do we get them more commercial videos? The thing is, as soon as I figured that out, I was like, I don't know how to get them commercial videos. What do I know? Because I can't even get commercial videos for myself. And I just stopped there because I was like, there's no way I can solve this problem. And I stopped at the dead end that everybody else stops at, which is I don't know what to do. Now I know how simple it is to get commercial clients. All you got to do is do some cold outreach, do some cold emails, send some cold calls, just say, hey, I'll do a free commercial for you if you want to do monthly content. You do a free commercial for them, and now you have monthly content, and then everybody's happy, right? And I just did a little research. I couldn't find anything, and I just gave up. But if you just push right past, like right where you're like, I should probably get up here, if you just push right past that and just keep going a little bit more, you'll get way farther than everybody else. And now we have innovation, because now if I would have just done a week's worth of research on this, on how to do cold outreach, or I didn't even know what cold outreach was at the time, that's the hard thing. Sometimes you don't know what to look up. You just don't know what you don't know. And so, but if you keep digging, you will find something. And so if I just did a week's worth of digging longer than what everybody else did, everybody just settled for, I guess there's no way. I guess I have to rely on referrals and word of mouth. And I found the system, and now you can innovate on it, right? So now I have a product that nobody else has because no one else was willing to do the digging. So you can innovate, create better solutions so your clients are happier. Or if you don't have a business right now, try to find a market, see what they want, ask them a few questions, then try to innovate on that, see if you can find a solution, do more digging than everybody else would do, and you'll have a business. If you're thinking to yourself right now, this sounds boring, That's the point. That's all business is. The reason I hire a plumber is because I don't want to go digging through my own toilet. That's really annoying to me. It takes more time. I don't really know how to do it, and it's not something I really want to do, And so I'm willing to pay someone else to do that just because I don't want to. It is really easy to sell cold calling. If you, right now, you reach out to 100, if you cold call 100 B2B businesses, if you send 100 messages to B2B businesses, and they actually pick up, or they actually hear your message, they hear you out, and you say for them, hey, I will do cold calling for you. I will get you appointments and clients. You just have to pay me on a commission deal. Would you be open to that? I can guarantee you everyone you talk to will be interested, and everyone you talk to would love to work with you on that basis. The thing is, the reason they would love to do that is because they don't want to do the cold calling, because they don't want to sit there for 4 hours a day, 6 hours a day, calling one by one. So you shut up about what you're passionate about. No one cares what you're passionate about. And that's why I realized I was focusing on a lot about my passion when I was first starting. Maybe I'm passionate about this. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that because this is what my heart feels, whatever. No one cares about that. They only care about what you can do for them. And so I'm willing to pay you money to fix my toilet because I don't want to do that. I'm willing to pay you money to do cold calling for me because I don't want to do that. I will never pay you for you to tell me about what you're passionate about. You can pay me to tell me what you're passionate about and all your pains and your problems, and that's what's called therapy. Now, should you hang out with friends? It sounds like a lot. Do I still have time for friends? Should I go out with them? Whatever. Should I have a life? Here's the thing. When you hear the saying you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, I don't really believe that's true because all my friends are still broke. But most of the time when you're hanging out with people, you're taking from the world, okay? So you're consuming food, you're going out and, consuming alcohol, or they're smoking weed or whatever, or you're watching a movie with them, right? So you're consuming. So what I think of it as I'm taking from the world. I'm just taking from other people. I'm consuming calories. I'm spending money. I'm just losing, and consuming. Right? Which is what most people do all day. They just sit there on TikTok all day and they're not very good employees, and then they go in debt. The only reason you're ever in debt, you want to know why? Is because you consumed more than you gave. So you didn't give as much to the world and you took more from the world than you gave to it. I see it as a little bit selfish, and I rather would give to the world, and working is basically giving to the world. So either way, you're going to spend time and energy. If you spend time and energy by consuming from things, you're also going to spend money, right? And so now you're out. But the other way, I spend time and energy and I gain money if I'm working, It's the same thing with women. Now, this applies also to men. If you're a woman and you're watching this, don't think of this as sexist. This applies also to if you have a boyfriend, right? But if you have a girlfriend, a lot of times, dude, they will keep you poor, all right? They will definitely keep you poor. They will take your money, they will take your energy, they'll take your time, and they'll give you nothing in return. Trust me, I had a girlfriend when I was broke, and it would just be like me trying to work. Oh, can we go to Chick-fil-A? Okay, let's go to Chick-fil-A, right? We drive to Chick-fil-A, spend money on Chick-fil-A, spending, consuming, taking from the world. Okay, and now can we go to the park? And you have to go to the park. We're going to drive 20 minutes out of the way just to go to the park just so we can sit there eating our chicken sandwich. All right, let's go to the park. We go to the park, right? Drive there, sit around for 45 minutes in the heat and for no reason. All right, we ate our Chick-fil-A. Let's go back home. All right, we go back home. I crack the laptop open, hoping she doesn't hear it. She sniffs it from a mile away. Why are you working right now? You're supposed to be spending time with me. Woman, I am a broke man right now, and I do not want to stay broke. If you want to stay broke, and I can barely afford your lifestyle right now, I can barely afford you right now, and you won't even allow me to work. So most of the time, I'm sure, as you know, spending time with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, it just goes to waste, right? You're just consuming from each other. And that's why I think a lot of times when you guys get in a relationship, you get fat, because you're both just you kind of give up and you just start consuming. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't go out with your friends. I literally just got back from a baseball game. It was a great baseball game. Very fun, hung out with some of my friends. I would just limit it, right? Especially when you're just starting out. Now, if you're just starting out, what I try to do is a lot of times is when my girl wanted to hang out or my friends want to hang out, I would just be like, bro, I'm in survival mode right now. I need to work. And also don't be around them, because sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'll come over and we'll hang out and we'll work together, right? Never works. Don't ever do that. So I'll stay here. I need to get this. I am in survival mode. I have no other option. You have to do the boring work. I just sit here. I have to do these cold calls because I have no other option. I have to make these videos. I have no other option. If I don't, I'm not going to survive this month, And so you have to kind of think about it like that. How do I put myself in a survival mode where there is no other choice? I have to do this. I cannot go hang out with you. I cannot spend another dime. I have to make more money today. Now, something that helps me when doing these boring tasks is just some random things. Try to have a dopamine hit in between these tasks or while you're doing these tasks. So a lot of times for me, it's actually kind of fun doing all the boring little, let me just set up these clients, whatever, just because I can listen to music. And I try not to, sometimes watching videos or something that can be a little more distracting unless it's a boring podcast. But if I'm like really engaged in the video, I kind of want to watch the video. So it's hard to like do work and then watch this video, right? I'm sure if you ever like were young and you had fold clothes, your parents asked you to fold clothes and you're just sitting and watching Netflix or something, or TV, and then you just stop folding clothes and you just start watching TV, and your parents are like, get back folding clothes. You know, oh. It's really easy to do both at the same time, but then you just kind of get engaged and you forget about what you're doing. So try not to watch videos, listen to music. And another thing I do is like I'll walk, so I know I'm being productive during my calls, and I'll also play Rocket League. So it's like Rocket League, I'm just sitting there having fun, and I'm still being productive at the same time, you know. And obviously I don't really like multitasking, but when it's mindless, like walking and talking, you know, when I'm just like moving my fingers back and forth, it's really easy to kind of pay attention still and have fun and still be able to do work, you know. Now that's my 12-hour day. That's how I made literally $1 million. I literally just cracked $1 million, thank God. And I make about $1,000 to $4,000 a day, $50,000 a month. If you want to know exactly what I do in terms of a business, you can watch my next video, which is how I make $20,000 a month just sending emails. Watch that next. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. I make videos every week, and I'll talk to you soon.